Is moved. Welcome to our Friday live presentation of sciatica treatment results. We save the best for Friday. It's cold out and it's snowing, so we saved you the best. Our goal is to help you make better decisions about your health care. And the way we do that is by showing you patient-reported data about outcomes. Because when you understand patient-reported data about outcomes, you better understand what effect certain treatments have on very specific conditions. Doctors are not obligated to report outcomes of their therapies or their treatments. So you don't know the results very often of what their treatments provide for you. Our goal is to help you make better decisions. So this week we've talked about 3 or 4 different cases. Today we're going to really talk about a great one. So this is outcome case study number 63. And this is a good one for 3 reasons really. Number one, he was a very young patient. He was a 23-year-old male, and he had been suffering with back pain and sciatica for a while, but he's had back problems for 10 years. So his back problems started when he was 13. And this is an interesting case because he'd had the pain for so long, and he was young. And it's kind of rare for somebody that young to have this kind of problem, but he had suffered back pain, sciatica for 10 years, like we said. And during that time, he saw 3 different doctors, had an MRI, had gone through multiple courses of physical therapy, had seen a chiropractor, was taking narcotics, and was also taking non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. Now, this is interesting because he had tried all these therapies, and ultimately his back problem was getting worse, was not getting better. He had suffered for 10 years, and part of the length of time that you've had the back pain really results in different types of conditions. And over that 10-year period, he developed some pretty advanced wear and tear on his spine, which is kind of how it works. The pain, because he's had pain for 10 years, indicates that something's not right and it's breaking down. Pain, the longer you have pain, the more breakdown you have. It's almost like a cavity. The longer you've had the cavity, the more problems you're going to have with the tooth. Okay, because it's a slow, progressive breakdown. Same thing with the spine. So he'd had it for a long time. 10 years is a long time. He tried these things, and unfortunately, he was taking a lot of narcotics. And an interesting statistic for our patients is that 68% of all the patients that come to see us, before they see us, were taking narcotics. And that's an interesting fact because narcotics are highly addictive, but what's more interesting is it was the number 1 choice of therapy before patients came to see us. Number 2 was physical therapy. And I want to make this confusing because we're talking about 2 different things here, but the key is the fact that he was taking all the medicine, he had tried all the different therapies and did not get any better. So when he came in to see us, we put him through our 9-step sciatica solution. And part of the 9-step sciatica solution is identifying what's going on with the disc. There's 9 steps, but one of them really is what's going on with the disc, because the disc is the source of the sciatica. So our goal was see what's going on with his disc. And we did an MRI, a functional MRI that is a proprietary patented process, but our objective is to see what the disc is doing to the nerve. Because sciatica is pain that goes down the leg, okay? And it's pain that goes down the leg, and we know there are 5 causes of sciatica, that it causes a pinching of the nerve as the nerve exits through the spinal cord. We'll use this one right here. It's typically in the area where the nerve exits the spinal cord through the opening here called the foramen that the nerve gets pinched. So we did our process. We did our functional disc evaluation. We want to see how well the disc is functioning. So we did the functional disc evaluation, and here's what we found. We found he had a spondylolisthesis. We found that he had a herniated disc. We found that he had a degenerated disc. We found that he had a bulging disc, and we found out that he had stenosis. And he had the 5 causes of sciatica. We created a video on the 5 causes of sciatica. He had all 5. Okay? So what makes this case interesting is he was 23. Back pain started when he was 13. He tried every form of therapy, including narcotics. Did not get any better. So the outcome of those therapies was not good. And he came in to see us, evaluated them, had all 5. Now we're just going to review quickly the 5. We've done this before. I'm just going to do it again. Spondylolisthesis, one of the things that we haven't talked a lot about, and I'm going to talk more about it, is where you get shifting of the vertebrae. So the vertebrae will shift one on top of the other. And what's happening here is this upper part of the spine is shifting forward, and this part of the spine is shifting backwards. And as it does it, the opening where the nerve comes out physically starts to get pinched. You get pinching of that nerve. Okay? So he had the spondylolisthesis. Not a good problem. It's a pretty severe, probably the most complicated problem. He had the herniated disc. Herniated disc pushing into the spinal canal, irritating the nerve. Okay? That's number 2. Number 3, had the degenerated disc. Again, degenerated disc, vertebrae get closer together. As the vertebrae get closer together, starts to pinch that nerve. It's all about the pinching of the nerve. Had the degenerated disc, that was number 3. Had the bulging disc. Now I put this on here so you can see this. Bulging disc is a smaller version of the herniated disc. Okay, bulging disc compromises the opening. Again, this is the opening where the nerve comes out, right here. It's called the foramen. So you had a bulging disc. Also had the stenosis. So we know this is the bulging disc, here's the herniated disc. Okay, we talked about that on the other picture. Stenosis. What's stenosis? Stenosis is a degenerative spinal disorder, but really it's degenerating as a result of the biomechanics, the way it's functioning. It's dysfunctional. And the key to our patient is he was 23 years old. Stenosis is typically somebody that's in their 40s and 50s. He had it when he was 23. Well, why did he have it? He had it because there was so much wear and tear on his spine from the injury he suffered when he was 13. That process of wear and tear over that 10-year period that he was suffering with this problem, and over 10 years he was suffering. He was suffering pretty severely. So it's the wear and tear. That's what causes the disc to degenerate. It's a cascade of events, and that cascade led to his severe problems. Okay? So he came in to see us. When he came in to see us, his back pain and his sciatica was an 8. We score back pain on a score of 0 to 10. 10 is the most severe, 0 is no pain at all. His was an 8. It was pretty high. Okay, again, he'd been suffering. He was suffering without a solution because we knew the other treatments he tried weren't working. So the outcome for his condition was terrible with those other treatments. Didn't work. His Oswestry Disability Index was a 52. What is Oswestry Disability Index? Oswestry Disability Index is a 10-question questionnaire where it's really patient-reported outcome. So the patient reports how much disability he has as a result of his pain. We score it from 0 to 100. 0 is no disability. 100 is bedbound. Okay? So it's scored, there's 5 categories. Minimal disabilities from 0 to 20. Moderate disability is the second level. Severe disability is the third level. Crippling is above that, and then there's bedbound. And disability is your ability to function with your everyday activities as a result of this pain. How disabled are you as a result of the pain? In his case, he was a severe disability. Okay? His was pretty high. 23-year-old, pretty high. Compromising his life. Okay? Definitely on a path where it was just going to get worse. The one thing that we know is that the longer you have the pain, the more severe your disability, the more likely and the more you are a candidate for surgery. So we know that anything above 40 for a year, you're a surgical candidate. And he tried a lot of different therapies, wasn't getting better, so his next step was surgery. came in to see us. Put him through our 9-step solution. Put him through the process. Identify what was going on with the disc. Okay, again, he had all 5 conditions. Why is this important? Why is this maybe the best one of the week? We have a lot of good ones, but why is this one the best one of the week? Because he had all 5 conditions. He had all 5 conditions. Advanced breakdown of his spine. Advanced degeneration of his spine. He came in to see us, he was an 8. His oswestry was a 52. He went through the program. He had 37 treatments. We affect the disc. We affect deep inside the spine. We have the ability through our process to eliminate disc problems. And the way we eliminate them is through our therapy, and it's non-medicine and it's non-surgery. It's advanced physical therapy. And what we do is we take pressure off the discs. We call it unweighting. And then we have you do exercises. And we have the ability through our MRI process to exactly identify how to take the pressure off the disc. So we have this evaluation, we get you into the treatment program, and we put you through the treatment. Okay? His took 37 visits. At the end of it, his back pain was a 0. Now, it was the first time in 13 years his back pain was a 0. His sciatica was a 0. His oswestry, disability index, was a 14. Okay? Our goal is always to get you below 20. Okay? He was up here. He was severely disabled. 23-year-old severely disabled. Couldn't live his life. Couldn't live his life. We got him down to a minimal disability, meaning he can live his life with a little bit of stiffness, maybe a little bit achy once in a while, but mostly no problems at all. Okay? Got him down to a 0, oswestry down to 14. Okay? This is kind of what it looks like. This is not his MRI. This is a different MRI, but this is an MRI of a herniated disc. As our patients go through the program, this is 3 separate MRIs of the same patient. Herniated disc gets smaller. Eventually, by the end, for this patient, herniated disc completely gone. So what does that mean? It means we have the ability to free up that space in between the vertebrae. And as we free up that space, you start to feel better. The back pain goes away. The sciatica goes away. So with this patient, what is the outcome? Well, the outcome is we got him from an 8 down to a 0. And then we got his disability from a 52 down to a 14. This is patient-reported data. This is not us saying, oh, we're great and this is really good and he got better. This is him saying, yeah, I can live my life. I was disabled, now I'm better. Patient-reported outcomes. It's the most important information when you're making decisions about what type of treatment you need to get. The problem is nobody's reporting it. It doesn't have to be reported. There's one group of people that have to report it. It's for organ transplant. If you're going to get an organ transplant, they have to prove outcomes. Okay? Nobody else has to do it. This is why people are suffering with back pain. Because nobody has to report the outcomes. And we call it the ping pong ball effect, which is exactly what was happening as he was going through his therapy. Okay? He had had all the different therapies, physical therapy, chiropractic, narcotics, anti-inflammatory, all the things you would do. Didn't get any better until he found us. So what's the point of all this? The point of all this is if you are suffering and you have back pain that's not going away, and chronic back pain's on the rise, more people are suffering now than ever, you don't have to suffer. We can help you. There's a link up above here, and there's one down below. If you want to make a consultation, sign up for a free consultation and make an appointment, you can do that on that link. You do not have to suffer. Also, if you like what we're saying, like us on Facebook, and you'll get notified when we're going live, and then like us on YouTube, or subscribe to YouTube. They'll notify you when we're going live. And we're doing it once a day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. We're here to help you. We're here to educate you. Our goal is so you can live a better life. Thank you. We're out. It's cold. Got to go shovel snow. Have a good weekend. Go Bears.